invented me and hustle. All right. Can y'all still hear me good? Okay. So last week we were dealing with number 3, and we might today, y'all, we might get to chapter 5 as well. But the things that we're reading, a lot of times, and we're gonna pray again, but a lot of times, the adversary is cunning and crafty. I'm gonna say that first. The adversary is cunning and crafty. When I say the adversary, I mean your enemy. I mean, Hasatan, Satan. And the word Satan means the adversary. And Satan, so Satan includes the watchers, all the watchers, and also those demons. The demons are the sons of the fallen angels. Demons are sons of the fallen angels, and that meet with the daughters of men. And when y'all brought the flood on, it killed them, but it left their souls here because they had no place to go. But that's where demons come from. But the watchers are not demons. Those are fallen angels who fell from the Shamayim. When Mashiach had said he saw Satan, the adversary, fall from heaven like lightning, he wasn't talking about Lucifer. He's talking about the enemy. And when you look at Revelations, you see is a third fell. So they're cunning and they're crafty. And what they do is they make you not want to. When you start reading these names and things are being said and done out of specifics, it makes in your flesh the Bible become boring to you. You know what I'm saying? So you will skip over certain things like that. But that's a deceitful technique of the adversary. It's just like in today's time. Let me give y'all a good example. Many of us heard of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., right? Can somebody agree with that? Everybody not very quiet. Hello?
Yeah. Sir.
Okay,
yes,
okay. I'm myself. Everybody not very quiet. Okay, and many of us also have heard of Malcolm X, right?
Yes.
Right.
The question still remains. Okay, so then, but how many folks have ever heard of how many folks know who their great granddaddy is? Your great granddad and your great grandmama. You know what I'm saying? What's your great grandmama name and your great granddaddy's name? You know what I'm saying? What's your great granddaddy's name and your great grandmama's name? What's your great uncle name? Where your family comes from? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? Why you was born where you was born? You know what I'm saying? And many of those questions, y'all, they go unanswered. And so look here. A lot of us born into poverty. So a lot of us born, man, when we come home from the hospital, some of us come home to the hood. Some come home to the projects. Some go home to good families where you got mommies and daddies. But some go to foster care. You know what I'm saying? Some just got one mama. And she might be on drugs. She might be, I'm trying to say to you, out there. You know what I'm saying? Or one daddy. And he might be on drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of conditions that we're born in. And many of us don't know why we got here, why we are. But then you always hear folks say, well, you know what? If you don't know what your history is, you're bound to repeat it. Well, then guess what? You might be in the middle of repeating your history right now. You might be right now in the middle of repeating a generational curse for the mere fact you don't know where you come from or who you are. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? In order for us to have any kind of deliverance, you need to find out who you are. How did we get here? You know what I'm saying? What happened to education? Even if you don't go to a public school, when I say education, I'm talking about when did your mom and your dad, then when did your family then stop teaching you? When did your family stop teaching the young men how to be men? When did they stop teaching the young women how to be women? Why all of a sudden you born into the house and you got holes in your house? And I mean what I'm saying to you. See, I'm talking to the black community. I'm talking to the ones, to the Israel. And for the Gentiles who want to be grafted into it, they can also, you know what I'm saying, chime on in. You know what I'm trying to say to you. But let's be realistic now. Many of us, I know, I can only give you my experience. And I grew up in poverty. I just learned my great granddad is, I ain't even learned his name, but I learned about him last year. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe some Kings or something. And I just learned about my great grandmama, my grandfather's mama last year. And come and find out from my understanding, what I heard was she was a voodoo priestess. You know what I'm saying? And I heard that she may have been the one that poisoned my great granddaddy's whiskey. I don't know. That's what I heard. But I can tell you how I grew up. I grew up with my mama licking her finger and putting a cross on the windshield with a black cat run across the front. Now I grew up in an environment where you get a whooping split in the pole. They were taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a house. If a mirror broke in the house, Big Mama have a fit. A mirror being broken, not because glass all over the floor, not because somebody can get glass in their foot, but because she believed in 7 years bad luck. You know, I heard about sweeping the broom. I heard 2 or 3 about sweeping the broom. I heard about you sweep the broom, you're gonna go to jail. I heard also you ain't gonna be able to get married. All kind of little tough food concerning that one. But guess what? That's the way I was raised. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up like that because of ignorance, not understanding, not knowing who I am, who we are. You know what I'm saying? And so when you skip over these names, you skip over these people and where they're from, you rob yourself. You rob yourself of a heritage. So it's not good to skip. You know what I'm saying? Now I know where my family's from. Now I know who they are and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? And I do a lot of extensive research on myself because you don't want to break these curses. But guess what? You got to find out in order to break them. In order to break them, you gotta search. You gotta find. You gotta dig. You gotta search to find out where you come from. Find out who you are, so you can stop. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my children, getting older and telling their children and their grandchildren of me and my wife commit adultery on each other. You know what I'm saying? And I see my daddy, his fat self running down the hall naked. Or so I see my mama over there at the Holiday Inn or the Red Roof Inn pulled behind the building. You know what I'm saying? We don't need none of them kind of testimonies. You know what I'm saying? Or my dad used to beat my mama. He used to slap upside the head, beat her, or abuse her, or my mama was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't need them kind of testimonies. We need to live a righteous life from Yah's point of view. So the testimony that we have can be an overcoming testimony, since that's how we overcome. So anyway, let's do a review. So we were just studying last week, you all about, the sons of Aaron, and how the Most High was setting up, in the priest's office. Are we on no, we on four. How Yah was setting up the priest's office. We also learned how the Most High was bringing the armies of Yasharal, right? How he was setting up the armies of Israel. And we learned that before Israel was considered to be an army, what was Israel considered to be, somebody? Before Israel was considered to be an army, what were they called, somebody?
Children.
They were called slaves and children. But slaves, right? Remember, Pharaoh said, the children of Israel, mightier than we. We learned also last week that even though you consider yourself weak, you can't deceive yourself to think that your enemy see you weak. Your enemy don't see you weak. Your enemy see you stronger than them. The enemy tries to attack your mind to make you think that you weaken your mind so you won't fight. That's why most folks give up. Why most folks be depressed. When you see people when you see folks who battle with depression, what are they consumed with? Their own shortcomings, their own failures, their own faults, what they're dealing with, what they're going through, how bad it is for them. And it oppresses you, and it depresses you, and it makes you quit. Why? Because you believe what you think. And if you didn't believe what you thought, you wouldn't be depressed. That's a trick of the adversary. So he tried to trick your mind. So we learned. Let's look at something. What verse we on? Let's look here. Exodus 1 and 8. We're gonna go all the way back up to Numbers 4. Exodus 1 and 8 says what? Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. And that's what he said. And that's the enemy. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's not Yah. That's not a righteous man talking right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the new king over Egypt, who knew not Joseph, who had no relationship with Joseph, who had no dealings, who Yada did not know. There was nothing intimate about it, didn't recognize, didn't care what Joseph did. He don't care about Joseph saving them for them 14 years. You know what I'm trying to say to you? The 7 years of famine and the 7 years of plenty. He don't care nothing about that. And then you know to get this kind of give you some history. This Egyptian king right here is a real Egyptian. When Joseph came, the ones over Egypt was called the Hyksos. They were not necessarily Egyptian. They were Shemitic. But this Pharaoh was a true Egyptian, and he in his mind probably was like, you know, hey, we're not gonna let nobody else take over. You know what I'm trying to say to you? Our country. Now listen here now and understand this. Joseph was also in the same status as this man because Joseph himself was a king over Egypt, remember? And then when Pharaoh made it. But when this king, you know what I'm saying, grew, or this new king arose up, he didn't care nothing about Joseph, right? And he said to his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. So he understood that. So the next time you sit here and look at yourself insignificant, think twice. Your enemy might tell you that, but your enemy actually sees you stronger than him. And I'm talking about the adversary. Ain't that what Mashiach told them in the book of Luke? We'll come back to this. But ain't that what Yahushua told them in the book of Luke? Because see, it's amazing how we breathe the word only when it comes down to us dancing and shouting. You know what I'm saying? Doing the bump. So we look here. We'll get out there, y'all. We'll do the bump. We'll dance, shout, and do the splits. But somebody tells us we're gonna get some money. We ain't going through nothing. But when you're going through a trial, somebody tell you something, you want to sit there with your lip all poked in and somehow, I just can't believe it. Just like Zechariah did when the angel came to him and then told him his personal answer. He still had no faith, even though he prayed for what he asked for. Many of us the same way, lack of faith. But look here, Luke 10, verse 17 says this. And the 70 returned with joy, saying, Master, even the devils, the devils, demons, devils, are subject unto us through your name, through thy name, through your authority. And he said unto them, I beheld. What does the word beheld mean? Did he hold him and throw him down? Or did he discern? Did he acknowledge? Or did he look? He saw with his own eyes. He didn't perceive, he saw with his own eyes. He said, behold, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the what? Of the enemy. And nothing shall by any means hurt you. So now, if you got power over all enemy, there's no need for you to be living defeated. The only way you can be defeated in your life is if you allow the enemy to trick you in your mind. And he said unto his people, behold, this Exodus 1:9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they follow out of any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore did they set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure city, Python and Ramses. So they came over there, you all, and tricked them. They came to them and tricked them and made them slaves. Now, Yah, of course, did not see, you know what I'm trying to say to you, them like that. When the Most High sent Moses back, when the Most High sent Moses back to Pharaoh, what did Yah tell Moses, tell Pharaoh who Israel was to him, somebody?
Firstborn.
So what now?
His firstborn.
His firstborn, right? Israel is my firstborn. Israel's my son. Let's go find that. Everybody found it yet? Everybody found it yet? Do I got to find it for y'all? Okay, let me find it for y'all.
I'm looking.
I'm still looking though. You ain't gotta find it yet.
Okay. I thought y'all wanted to have Bible study at mid-rash. Y'all just on here looking. I hope y'all ain't sleep. A lot of times when folks don't speak up, they sleep.
422.
Thank you. Woo. Will leave our hand to receive your love. Okay, so now let's look at something. We're trying to build something up with this, y'all. So that's why we're asking. So here it is. So now, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus says Yahuwah, Yasharal is my son. Israel is my what? Son. Even my firstborn. So, and I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn. Now, how did y'all come to Pharaoh? Y'all came to Pharaoh like a man of war. And we're going to get in a minute. So y'all came to Pharaoh, and listen to how the Most High is talking to Pharaoh. And Israel is Yah's son. So Yah expects for you to be like him. Even the Bible says in Romans chapter 8, it says those who are led by the Spirit of Yah are what?
Sons of Yah.
The sons of Yah. And being led by the Spirit of Yah means what, somebody?
You're his child.
Okay, that's good. That's true. But being led by his Spirit means what? What does it say when it says being led by the Spirit of Yah? What does that mean? How are you led by Yah's Spirit?
I would say obey his word and listen to his instructions.
Being obedient to his word. That's how you are led by Yah's Spirit. It's exactly how you are led by Yah's Spirit. When you obey him. See, people try to be deep when they say the Spirit of Yah. Ooh, the Spirit, how is that? Well, guess what Yah is? He's a spirit. So being obedient to him, guess what you are? You are a spirit that lives in a body that has a soul. So anyway, that's good, Michaela. So anyway, and Malachi, so he said Israel is my son. Therefore, Israel ain't no what? Ain't no slave. Let my son go. Now, when we see this, and we see the Most High bring Israel out of Egypt, and he brings Israel out of Egypt with an outstretched arm, right? Somebody?
Right.
And when he brought them out, did he bring them out as slaves or what?
Armies.
Brought them out as an army.
Brought them out as an army, brought them out into their purpose, brought them out to who they're supposed to be. Exodus 12:51 says this. Says, and it came to pass the self-same day. This right here, you all, is after Pesach, after Passover, and this is the first day of what feast?
Unleavened bread.
So unleavened bread. So he removed sin from them. He delivered them, made them free. They have nothing. They have no burdens on them being spread. They are not coming out as slaves whatsoever. And it came to pass the self-same day that Yah did bring the children of Israel out of their lands by their what? By their armies. So the Most High brings them out by their armies to be like him. How do I know? How do I know this? Well, let me show you. Yah himself is a man of war, likes to fight. Yah, look at Yah's a good bumper now. So look like he like to get down. Then saying Moses and the children of Israel to this song unto Yah, and spake, saying, I was saying unto Yah, for he have triumphed gloriously, the horse and his rider have he thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my mighty one, and I will prepare him in the habitation, my father's mighty one, and I will exalt him. Yahuwah is a man of what, somebody?
War.
Man
War.
of war.
War.
You're a man of war. And Yah's his name. So if Yah's a man of war, then we have no business being defeated, walking around defeated as being his sons. I think that the deceptive tactic of the adversary made you think or made us think that it was done by something materialistic. You know what I'm trying to say to you? We think being blessed and being the children of Yah, you know what I'm saying, we gotta have something natural. We gotta have the latest car, the latest iPhone, the latest house, the biggest house. We gotta have the more money. We gotta have bragging right, a pissing contest on what we didn't accomplish in our life and how far we didn't came. But that's not the character of Yah. You don't see the Most High bragging about that in the scriptures. Neither should you. They don't make you strong because you got materialistic things. You got a whole lot of billionaires and millionaires, you know what I'm saying, right now, busting their head wide open, going through stress. I wonder how Donald Trump feel right now. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole bunch of money. He can't get his way out of this. A whole lot of folks going through a lot of things that your money can't get you out of. Your money can't get you out of being sick. Your money can't get you from being depressed. Your money can't get you, you know what I'm saying, to make other folks happy. And it can only bring a temporary fix for you. You know what I'm trying to say to you? But see, so it ain't about a natural thing. You got to learn how to fight and know who you are. Now, praise Yah that he brought them from out of captivity and delivered them. But guess what? He delivered their bodies and was still trying to deliver their mind, and their minds were still bound. They still saw themselves as being weak. You know how we know this? Because every time they crossed a trial in the wilderness, the first thing they did was complain. Anyway, so let's go to over here to Numbers 1. Let's go to Numbers 1. Okay. And now when Yah brings them out and brings them into, you know what I'm saying, the wilderness, he's dealing with them. He tells Moses and Aaron, take a sum of the tabernacle congregation. Let's look at Numbers 1 verse 2 says this: take you the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their poles. So now they're going to take every of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names. They're gonna go get every man, every boy in that house, every male man, every boy in the house, right? Look here, or not necessarily the boy, every man. I'm saying every man. From 20 years old and upward. So they didn't go get the little 8-year-olds. They did not go to their houses and count the 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds and the 19-year-olds. All of them from 19 on down was not counted. Only the ones from 20 years old and upward. So from 20 years old and upward, all that are able, I see you, Malachi, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. Now listen here now. He said 20 years old and over, all that are able to go forth to war. And this right here is Yah bringing them out of Egypt. No, you know what I'm saying? Before war. Because Yah understood they're going to have to fight. As a matter of fact, he was going to introduce them to the fight. Not only that, but guess what? He was going to let them be attacked. Yah wants Israel to fight. He gonna cause trouble in your life for you to fight. And if you don't read his word, you gonna think, man, I'm under attack by the devil. It ain't always the devil because you under attack. And then guess what? You ain't even got the thing about it is, y'all, we'll be deceiving our mind, but you understand if you be obedient to Yah, you don't lose. You don't lose. You can't lose. You only lose through disobedience. But anyway, the Most High wants you to fight. So let me show you how we know he wants you to fight. He brought, let's go to Judges real quick. What's it, Judges? Yeah, Judges 3. Go ahead, Malachi, with your comment and question before I read this, sir.
I had a question as far as the age. It says that 20 years old and upward, and I wanted to ask, why do you think that is? Why do you think that's the age in which you should be able to go forth to war?
Probably because they're grown. Young men, they can begin people to fight, strong, mature, physically able. should be mentally able. I think that's, and I think also as far as there's the age of accountability or being an adult also. That's what I would think. Do they help you out?
It was just pretty interesting to see the age of 20. You know, war is a quite a gruesome thing. So, just was thinking about that. I mean, being I'm 21, so
Right,
yeah.
right. I know when I used to work for the sheriff, we had a few of those guards that were in there, like 21, 20 years old. They used to be in the military as well. They used to be in the reserves, Army Reserves, National Guard, and they were very very young, and they had already been to Egypt, you know, or another country, had already engaged in battle. Some of them young.
Wow. You can be ready for it. It's just kind of mind blowing. I was learning about like some Roman stuff.
Mm.
They started those kids out at like as young as 6 or 8. And by the time they were like 18, 19, 20 years old, they were full blown, basically mercenaries. They had killed people, all kinds of stuff. You know, so 20 back in them days may have been a different,
Right, and
different.
then that's good because the younger you are, as far as 20, I guess the older you get, the more skilled you become as well. David then was like that. I was thinking about you when Absalom was trying to get at David, and he was wanting to go do something. And I said, "No, man, your dad, they were there like a mama bear. You don't want to go there right now." There was men of war, but David had been fighting all his life. So I think that may be good as well. As far as them being young, but even being young, it's the Most High that shows you how to fight. So Lady Battle has in the chat, Psalms 144, verse 1-2 says this: "Blessed be Yahuwah, my strength, which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight, my goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and he whom I trust, who subdues my people under me." So Yah teaches you the war. Also, when you look at Judges 3, verse 1-4 says, "Now these are the nations which Yahuwah left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan." Now in Judges 1, that army right there that Yah is getting ready, preparing, those are the ones who are going to be in the wars of Canaan. This right here in Judges 3 is the next generation that's in the promised land. But this is just to let you all know that Yah wants you to fight. Only that the children of Yasharal of Israel might know, to teach them war, at least such as before knew nothing thereof. It says, namely the 5 lords, the 5 masters of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians, and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering in of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yah, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Now listen to that, y'all. Verse 4 says that the wars and things come to prove to Israel to know if they would obey Yah. So think about that now. Think about that in your own mind when you under attack in your own mind. Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna persevere? Are you gonna have faith? Are you gonna push? Because that's gonna show if you know Yah or not. Most folks lay down and quit and give up, throwing the towel, complaining and grumbling and fuss when they're going through trials. That's a telltale sign. You might not know, you might not be where you say you are. Now I know we talk good in front of folks and people get mad, but you can't tell me nothing. I know I am. Man, I gotta tell you nothing, but you know you fake. Just like the Most High do. It's just like people say, man, God know my heart. Yeah, you know your heart. You know what I'm saying? You saying all this stuff to me, like the Most High, he really do know your heart for real. So it don't matter what you say. What you saying ain't okay, and you talking tough and gangster and all like you big, don't mean nothing. Oh, you can't tell, man, whatever. Man, look here, that's wolf tickets. Hold on one second, you all. We had somebody trying to come in the door. Okay, so look at mean mugging ain't nothing but scare tactics. All that gangster talk out there don't mean nothing. People talk gangster all day long. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says a tree is known by the fruit it bears. Y'all and you can tell if you know y'all based on the trials you go through. How you carrying yourself. If you always getting in your flesh, you always getting all upset and all offended when it comes to being corrected. If you all down now and you been in your flesh, you all upset, you not where you say you are. It don't matter what you say at your mouth. It's your actions that describes you. It's your attitude that best describes you, not the words out of your mouth. But see, we think we can tell folks stuff and they can we can get away with what we tell them. But guess what? The Most High wear the heart, and Yah teaches you the war. So the Most High he's having the children of Israel. He's having most of them from the ages of 20 years old and upward, and all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. He wants them to go to war. He wants them to be able to fight. He wants them to be able to win. And he brings out men, of every tribe. Remember, we saw last week, it says, and these are the names of the men that shall stand with you. Of the tribe of Reuben or Reuben, you got Elazar, the son of Shadur, right? And of Shadur, Shelumiel, and the son of Zurishaddai. So you got all these people, and we saw last week all these people, their names meant certain things. Like on the tribe of Reuben, you hear Elazar, right? His name means what? Elohim of the rock. And so we understood that every last one of these men's names meant something. You know what I'm saying? Their character. And look at here. And y'all chose them out. Y'all chose them out by their names because of who they were. Let's read. We're gonna read the numbers 116 and 17. Let's look at it. And these were renowned. These were the renown of the congregation, princes of the tribes of their fathers, heads of the thousands in Israel. And Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by what? Their names. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So y'all brought these people out, you all, to show them how to fight, to get them ready. He brought them from being slaves. He brought them to change their mindset, to let you know that, first of all, you ain't no slave, you my son. I'm a man of war. Y'all are children of war. We overcome. See, the thing about it is Christianity and this religion has made you weak. Yeah, that's what made you weak, because everybody wants to spare feelings. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of tell now these days, especially if you read the scripture, that they might not be of Yah, always trying to spare your feelings. Not saying that your feelings don't matter, but they don't sometimes. Not when it comes to certain things. You think a mom and a daddy gonna spare their child's feelings because their child crying because their child won't take no bath? Now, you know that mom and dad know how stinky feet smell. Mom and dad know how the feet smell when it stink. Mom and dad know how the armpit smell when it stink. And other parts of your body smell when it stink. And we ain't care about you crying. I don't want to get in the tub. Okay, and you're gonna still get in the tub crying. You know how the children want to cry and say, "I don't eat that. I'm allergic to that." When you want to bring out some food and children don't like it, they're gonna say, "Well, I'm allergic to that. I can't eat that. I can't eat no spinach. Yeah, I'm allergic to it. Or I can't eat no beans. Say I'm allergic to it." And you can tell that child to sit there and eat that food, they're gonna cry. So you didn't tell me because you don't want to hear their mouth. You're gonna let them get up from the table and just let them go, or you're gonna give them cereal, or blown themselves. You're gonna give them something that they like. Well, a true good parent gonna make you eat that food. They know what's good for you. They know what's best for you. They understand what the vegetables do for you. They understand what the bath would do for you. They realize what the water you drink would do for you. So even though you're crying and you're complaining because of that, then guess what? And a good parent ain't care about you crying. They're trying to look out for you. But many of us be concerned with the crying. That ain't how it's supposed to be. It ain't necessarily about your feelings from that point of view. You need to get your emotions under control and do what's right from Yah's point of view. Let me show you something about crime. Let's go to Philippians. Karen, what does it say? Or whatever is pure and true, and of a good report. I got a hand. I get your hand in a second. Who's hand is up? Okay, I'll get you a second, Malachi. Brethren, let me see. Is it this chapter, Karen, or is it the fourth chapter? Think on these things, or is it chapter number 2? Well, let's just read it here, y'all. Come on, let's look at it. Okay, here it is. We'll start at verse
You're in the right chapter.
Philippians 2:12 says this. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For it is Elohim which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Right? Do all things without murmuring and disputing, that you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Elohim, without rebuke or correction, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of Mashiach, that I have not run in vain, neither labored in vain. Yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and service of your faith, I joy and rejoice with you all. For the same cause also do you joy and rejoice with me. Look here now. Paul says, what now? Do all things without murmuring and disputing. Why? Because it's Yah that working you both to will and do of his good pleasure. So when you start going through life, you start going through difficulties, you start going through trials, man, it's hot out here. I ain't got no water. Man, I ain't got no money. Don't nobody like me. Everybody talking about me. Don't nobody care about me. I gotta go to work. You know, whatever you want to use as an excuse to complain. What the scripture said is Yah. It said, for it is Yah which working in you both to will and to do his good pleasure. So then therefore do all things without murmuring and disputing, arguing, fussing, complaining, that you may be what, y'all? Blameless and harmless. Those who are led by the Spirit are what? The sons of Elohim, without rebuke. In the middle of people looking at you, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. So you all, when going through trials, when going through tests, when going to war, complaining don't cut it. Complaining is wrong. It's sinful. You ain't complaining. And the only reason that Paul is able to say that because Paul read the Torah, and we saw what has happened to the children of Israel when they complained. Not understanding that it's Yah that's got us going through what we're going through. Go ahead, Malachi.
Oh, that was familiar. I need to put it down.
Okay. So from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war to Israel, they are able to number them by their armies. And then so they number them, they got these men of renown, and they were known by their names, right? And so that's how y'all set their army up. So now we understood that hey, we're not slaves, we strong, and the Most High is a man of war, he will fight for you. And let me tell you this. When you really see many folks rob themselves when they don't read the word of Yah. You rob yourself of an opportunity to learn his character, to learn who he is, to learn about him, to be able to have a relationship with him. You can grow and have a good relationship with the Most High if you read your Bible, y'all. For real, man, the Most High is compassionate, very loving, very kind. I mean, he's a good man. Y'all is real good. I love him. I mean, he my friend. I know him for real. I know y'all for real. I'm like, he my real daddy. He'll whoop me like he'll whoop y'all. He'll say, he my son. So I'm his son. He's my father. And I'm telling you, we gotta put our trust in him. He understands us. He knows how sometimes we can shake it, he gets shaky. He'll work with us. He worked with David. He worked with many other prophets. He worked with many other patriarchs in the scriptures. He will work with you, be compassionate towards you, be kind towards you, be patient and gentle with you, and he'll help you and grow you into who you need to be. He'll spank you as well. And he does not treat his children like his enemies. They ain't the same. So anyway, in chapter 3, you all, we saw the sons of Aaron. We learned last week. Aaron. Two things we learned. You don't see you don't see Moses' bloodline in this. You don't see Moses' children and Moses' bloodline. You do not see them. You know what I'm saying? Alongside or even having doing what Aaron's sons do. You only see Aaron's sons in this. Matter of fact, you don't hear a lot about Moses' sons at all. Tell you the truth. So now look at numbers 3 and 1. These also are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that Yah spoke with Moses at Mount Sinai. This is generations, but this ain't Moses. Look here. These are the names of the sons of Aaron. So Aaron had 4 children when he was with his wife. He had 4 boys. One of the boys' name was Nadab. That was the firstborn. And then you had Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar, right? These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests, which were anointed when he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. If Nadab and Abihu died before Yah, when they offered strange fire before Yah in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. Eleazar and Aaron and Itamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron their father. So when it says strange fire, it means what a strange fire was, they committed idolatry, y'all. They committed idolatry. It's just like a strange woman, outlandish. They did something outlandish. They did something wrong. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, they committed idolatry. They did something they shouldn't have done. They stepped completely out of place, and they profaned it, and they did that, you all, against Yah's will. Let's look at this. What was that? Numbers, Leviticus, 10? The question still remains. Okay, Leviticus 10, let's look at this. Leviticus 10 and 1 says this. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before Yah, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahuwah and devoured them, and they died before Yah. Now listen, they committed idolatry. Yah killed them. That should be a warning. That should be a very good warning, especially to leaders. These 2 men were the sons of Aaron. They were in the priest's office. Even though they was the high priest, they had responsibility. And Nadab, if he would not have gotten killed, would have been next in line for the priesthood. So think about that. If y'all would not have dealt with him, look how many people he could have led astray. Look how many folks Abihu could have led astray. There should be a warning to you all as well, and myself as well, that this is important. If we are not to do the things that Yah commands us not to do. See, here it is. We'll do what Yah commands us not to do, and we don't care. We don't care. No, we don't care. See, a lot of folks' mind go to church when I say this. And your mind in church. So because you're religious and you don't care. But see, the word of Yah was not given to you for you just operate in church. Assembly. I don't care if you're a moray, whoever you want to call your name, prophet, pastor. Your titles don't even matter. Yah killed prophets too. Yeah, look at 1 Kings 13. So it don't matter about who you want to say you are and with your big-headed self. Because a lot of times that's what we do. We become title driven. But these two men right here offer strange fire before Yah. These two did, which Yah commanded them not to, and the Most High killed them. See, now when you look in James, it said by being a teacher, how you receive a stricter judgment. But then guess what? Teach you to be being obedient to Yah and teaching what Yah saying to teach. Because guess what? Their judgment, because of their position, was strict. The Most High killed them right in front of everybody with strange fire and told Aaron, you better not cry. Yeah, and keep on schooling. Okay, y'all don't believe me. Let's read it. Let's read it then. I said, let's read it. It says, then Moses said unto Aaron, this is that Yah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And what does it say Aaron did? Aaron held his peace. Yeah, y'all rebuked him. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about it. Yeah. My bad. We can't see y'all in that light, huh? You must understand who he is as father. Do not be able to see him like that. He took these men out for strange fire, idolatry, for doing something that he commanded them not. And the thing is, you all, they were leaders. All of us are leaders in some capacity, whether you're a mother or a father, whether you're a teacher or a principal, whether you a big brother or a big sister, whether you're a leader on your job, or you oldest, or you, everybody in here is a leader. We think when we say leaders, our mind go to pastors. People know that's more than leader. You got some people who call themselves pastors, ain't no leader. They followers, compromised by money. And the Most High requires for all of us to do what's right from his point of view. He requires for all of us to obey what he says. It ain't about how you feel, it's about what he say. And because these two men didn't do what Yah said, Yah took them out of here. And Nadab and Abihu died before Yah when they offered strange fire before Yah in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children. They ain't had no inheritance to leave. They ain't had no children. They couldn't leave none for nobody to get. It was a wrap. And Eleazar and Itamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron their father. So we know who the high priest was after Aaron, then don't we? Somebody. Anybody? I'll ask computer screen then, since y'all don't know. Computer screen. Who are the sons? Who was the next high priest in line after Aaron, since Nadab and Abihu died? Please
Eleazar.
tell me.
Eleazar.
Okay, thank you. I thought I was hearing voices, but that was my actual human being talking. Thank y'all. Praise y'all. Go ahead, Malachi. We take comment and question.
I think I forgot what I was going to ask, but if I can think of it, I will mention it again.
Okay, praise y'all. Okay, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
The Christians can remain. So anyway, let's continue. Sorry, I guess we went out. So now, after Yah sets up the armies of the tribe of, after Yah sets up the armies in Israel, we noticed there was one tribe that Yah did not make an army or did not count, right? What tribe was that? What tribe was that, y'all, that there was no army or they didn't count to go to war, to go to fight? The tribe of Levi, right? That's right. That's good, Isaiah. Right. Numbers 2, verse 33. That's good, Michaela. Numbers 2, verse 33 says this: but the Levites were not numbered among the children of Israel as Yah commanded Moses, because the Levites are not going to war. The Levites are not fighting the natural war. The Levites fighting the spiritual war. So these are the ones who are serving with Yah. So now the duties of the Levites. It says now bring the tribe of Levi near and to present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him. So the duties. So now the tribe of Levi came to Aaron to minister unto Aaron. So they came to serve Aaron. They came to serve Aaron, not serve Aaron as far as Aaron being a king and he ruling them when they kissing his feet and all that. Well, they came to take care of, make sure he's good. First of all, he's an old man. He was the high priest, responsibility, and they need to serve him. I think we don't like serving our leaders or serving the priests. It's something wrong with us. It's something wrong with our people. You know, I look at other nations, you all, and I be seeing them, how they be treating their fathers and their mothers. And I'm looking at our folks, we'll talk crazy to an old man, an old woman. Be straight disrespectful to an old man. How they talk to me, man, I don't care, shut up. You 20 years old, you got a problem, somebody 50 years old talking to you, get on to you, and you want to talk back like you took, you figure you grown. Because you got hair on your nuts, don't make you grown. If you grown at 20 years old, so-called say you grown at 20 years old, when a man 50 years old gets you then your mature mindset to tell you to shut up and live 30 years longer than you. But we want to holler, we grown, we can have children now. You figure you grown because you can drive a car. Ooh, deep. Most of us have no respect for our elders. Even some of us, how you talk to your mama, your daddy, your parents. Some of y'all don't have no respect for your parents. You want to say, but you don't know how they do this, my mama. No, you're the flesh. I don't care about your mama, your daddy. You don't like what they say. You don't agree with what they've done. It don't even matter what they've done in the past. None of that mean nothing. Respect and honor, respect and honor. And Yah's word don't put no stipulations on it. It says honor your father and your mother. And your days may be long upon the land. Right? It don't say unless they get you mad. And it don't nothing come with that but what it says. And it says rebuke not an elder. An elder don't, now we ain't talking about Christianity. When you got the mother and the elder, he 30 years old, he an elder, because he been a preacher for 10 years. That's religion. An elder is someone that's older than 50, at least 50 years and older, should be considered elders, at least 70. And you don't supposed to correct them. You don't supposed to tell them you out of order. Sit yourself down. And because you out of order. Now the prophet is different. When y'all tell the prophet to speak, he gonna just say what y'all said. He ain't putting his personal feelings in the way. But we get in our flesh. We have no respect for our elders. And it's a continual cycle. When you get old, if you did it, it's probably gonna happen to you, unless you can break that chain, break that curse. But anyway, so they're supposed to serve, they're supposed to minister unto Aaron. They're supposed to serve him. When it says minister, it don't mean preach to him. It don't mean go tell him what Yah said. It means to attend to. It don't mean worship him, because you cannot worship a man. It means to serve him. That means whatever Aaron needs to be done, they shall do it. It says, and they shall keep his charge. The Levites shall keep Mishmareth, his watch, his charge. They shall make sure everything is good. They should look out. And they shall keep his charge and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation to do the service of the tabernacle. So not only are they to keep the charge of Aaron, but also they are to keep the charge, they are to watch over you. They are to attend and to serve you, the people of Yah. They're to help you in every way that you need to be aided in, so you can have access to Yah. Just like they are to help Aaron in every way he to be aided in, so he can do the service of Yah, do the will of Yah, and have access without it being a burden upon him. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation and the charge of the children of Yasharel to do the service of the tabernacle. Y'all see that again? For some reason, it's like the people, it's for some reason, it's like the leaders don't care about the people no more, and the people don't care about the leader no more, and don't nobody care about Yah. That's backwards. When I say backwards, that's backwards, y'all. Look at verse 9. And thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons, that they are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel. They're given to him, to the priesthood, to do the service of Yah. So I like when I look at that, because a lot of times we say, man, folks put down the leaders, y'all. I've been seeing some of these truth folks get out there and be bashing pastors. You know what I'm saying? Dogging them out. Whoa. Jeremiah said, yes, I'm going to give you shepherds out of my own heart. When y'all stop giving shepherds? Y'all never stop giving shepherds. So we need to be careful. And leaders, y'all has never stopped giving prophets. He never stopped. Show me the Bible where he said, y'all ain't going to get no prophets out. Okay. Apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. Now, I don't know what tribe they from, but the majority, so a lot of your prophets was from the tribe of Levi, for sure. But we have a responsibility when it comes to y'all's leaders and when it comes to y'all's people to take care of each other. And that's not just a material thing. That's in every area of our life. We got to be there for one another. I should be able to call y'all. Somebody should be able to call me and talk to me. I should be able to confide in y'all. You should be able to confide in me. I know some of y'all haven't called me yet, you know, or text us or whatever, but you can confide in us. My wife and I, we'll most definitely pray with you and pray for you. Most definitely listen to you and counsel you and try to guide you so that you can have a clear path to where you got to go. And we're not taking the place of Yah, but we do take seriously serving Yah. You know, and loving you all. That's a real thing. Anyway, verse 12 says this, and behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel instead of all the firstborn that opened the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore, the Levites shall be mine. So now, instead of all the firstborn becoming Yah's, now all the Levites are Yah. And y'all gonna pay them for it. Y'all gonna give them something for the Levites. Because all the firstborn are mine. For on the day that I smote the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I hollow unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. Mine shall they be. I am Yah. And Yah spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, number the children of Levi. Now listen here. Now let's go back up. First of all the Levites belong to Yah. And the inheritance of the tribe of Levi was the sacrifices of Yah. So everything that you give was to go to the Levites. Everything. And they divided among themselves all the cattle, all the food, everything you gave was supposed to come. They got that. You know, one of the reasons that we over here, you all, is because of the curses that we stopped taking care of the Levites. And the Levites stopped taking care of us. They were forced to go get jobs. That wasn't good. That was not the will of Yah. You shouldn't have no true man or woman, a Levite, working. They're to gear toward you. Well, in those days, anyway. Now, number the children of Levi. Malachi, go ahead. You get your hand up again. Go ahead, Malachi. I take it down again. Okay.
No, that was from earlier. I don't know why I keep popping up.
So does everybody clear on what I'm saying? Does anybody have any questions or comments before I go any further? No questions, no nothing. Can y'all still hear me on here?
Yes.
Okay. So number the children of the children of Levi. Number the children of Levi after the houses of their fathers. Number the children of Levi after the houses of their fathers. And by their families, every male from a month old and upward, thou shalt number. Now, that's the difference, y'all, that we see right here, right? That excuse me. The difference is they're not being numbered. They're not gonna be numbered like the sons of the other tribes. You know, those men were numbered. Those men were numbered to go to war. Those men were numbered to go to war. Those men were numbered to fight, right? The other tribes, right? Let's look at this. Number the children of Levi after the house of their fathers by their families. Every male from a month old and upward shalt thou number them, because the Levite is a Levite from birth. Born. You're born into this. And Moses numbered them according to the word of Yah, as he commanded. And these were the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their families: Libni, Shimei, the sons of Kohath by their families: Amram, Izar, Hebron, and Uzziel. And the sons of Merari by their family was Mali and Mushi. And these ain't no white folk. These are Mushi and Mali. That's Feinstein and Birkenstein. These are Africans right here. And these are the families of the Levites according to the house of their fathers. Of Gershon was the family of the Libnites and the family of the Shemites. These are the families of the Gershonites. And those that were number of them according to the number of all the males, right? It does not give an end. It just gives a beginning. Those that were number of them according to all the males from a month old and upward. Even those that were numbered of them were 7,500. Let me say this, you all. I know that when you go to the Berit Hadashah of the New Testament, you see the high priest when the Mashiach is getting ready to get on the stake. You see Annas and Caiaphas, right? Those were illegitimate high priests. By the time Mashiach was here, the high priesthood was super corrupt. You know, they were doing terms in the high priesthood. But the high priest, from Yah's point of view, you was the high priest until you died. It wasn't no retiring. You can go sit down now. Aaron stopped being a high priest when they pulled his clothes off of him. And the Most High let him live and took his clothes off of him and put him on Eleazar. Then he died. Why? So he wouldn't defile Eleazar by a dead, so they wouldn't be defiled by a dead body. Because a dead body defiles. So he allowed him to get his clothes off. And they put him on his son, then he died. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that Yah was being cruel. It's just that the dead body defiles you. And he had to put them garments on, the high priest garments on. But anyway, he stopped being the high priest after he died. So it ain't no limit. You don't retire from this. This is what it is until you're gone. You know, teaching this thing, living this thing, being a Levite, being a priest, being any tribe, being whoever you are. Your name don't stop being carried my name ain't gonna stop being carried until until 21. No, until the year 2237. When I'm probably about well over 100 years old and I'm gone. Then I'll be gone then. Then I won't be here no more. But I'm gonna always be a minister and whatever office y'all call me to be in until I'm out of here. I ain't gonna retire when I'm 60 or 65. Anyway, so let's look. So we have the tribes and they were all set in place. One thing I want to get to y'all, because it's a lot. We're on chapter 4 now. Is how they set up. It's how they set up the sanctuary. They had it set up. They had the tribes according to each tribe. Somebody who was on the north side.
I think it was Dan and Asher, Naphtali.
What book is that in?
Same book, just the earlier chapter, right?
What chapter?
The north side, I think it was Dan. Two
Was
other
it Dan?
tribes.
Who was on the west side? Let's look at it. Who was the leader?
Judah.
Okay, there it is. Let's look at them. So now, Judah then was what? Let's see. Judah then was on what side? The tribe of Zebulun was there with Judah. So we had who? Let's go look at it and see who. Let's look at the tribe.
It was on the east.
Judah was on the east
Yeah,
side.
it was
Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin was on the west side. Okay, so I'm glad y'all. I'm glad we looking now. Oh, so let's look at it. Y'all looking. You say they looking. So on the east side.
225. 225
What you mean?
for Dan being on the north.
Right. I'm just saying if y'all was paying attention last week. I taught it. So Judah was on the east side, right? So we had Judah on the east side, and in Judah, we had who was with Judah?
Simeon and Judah, Simeon,
Issachar.
Zebulon.
Okay. Yes.
Zebulun.
And Zebulun. Right? So Judah consisted with Issachar and Zebulun and Judah. They were on the east side, and the whole camp was considered to be what?
Judah.
Judah. Right. On the south side was who?
Reuben.
We got
Simeon.
Reuben and Simeon and Gad, right?
So they did break the order when they
When they went to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Simeon went with Judah. Simeon
And
went with
it
Judah.
should have been either Issachar or Zebulun that went within the fight.
Right. Thank y'all, Sister June, Ruth, and Michaela, for y'all's comments in the chat, for y'all's questions in the chat. Thank y'all so much. So you had Simeon, Reuben, and Gad, and they were on the south side, and they was considered to be what tribe? What tribe was Simeon, Gad, and Reuben was supposed to be consist of?
Reuben.
Reuben, right. So let's look. Let's go down. Now on the west side, you had Ephraim. So Ephraim, you had Ephraim. Who else you had? Somebody?
Manasseh.
Manasseh, and who else?
I believe it was Benjamin.
Right. So on the west side, you had Ephraim, you had Manasseh, and you had Benjamin, right? So let me ask y'all a question now. Is this right here actually 3-4 tribes?
It's 2.5.
It's more than 2.5. Who was also inside of Ephraim and Manasseh? What tribe was hidden off inside of them?
Joseph.
Sister Hyde, thank you. Joseph. Who said Joseph as well?
Ruth.
Thank you, Sister Ruth, Sister Hyde, and Immaculate Delashay. Joseph was also hidden inside there. We don't see Joseph being named, do we? Also, we had a half tribe of Manasseh and a half tribe of Ephraim, and they became one tribe, right? In the promised land, right? And we see Benjamin. Benjamin in the promised land goes with who? Who did Benjamin dwell with in the promised land, somebody?
Can you say that again?
What tribe was Benjamin a part of when they was in the promised land? Who did they merge with? Or become part of?
Was it Dan? I would have
Judah. So you had Benjamin and Judah and you had Judah. You had Benjamin and Judah and Simeon and some of the tribe of Levi. You know, I'm gonna show y'all something when we get to it too. Let's look at some. We're gonna go back. So those that were on the let me see. Let's go. Let's finish this up first. Oh, we Ephraim. Yeah, Ephraim. Then here we go. We got one more camp. What's the name of this camp, somebody? And that's on the north side.
Dan?
There it is. So I say whoop. Y'all looking at y'all's computer screen. So we got Dan was on the north side. And so and then Dan we had Asher and we had Naphtali, right? But who was the leader over the whole thing on their side?
Yeah.
Dan. Now all these tribes are numbered, right? And all these tribes are put into position, right? But who was not numbered to be like them?
The Levites.
The Levites. Verse 33 says this, but the Levites were not numbered among the children of Israel as Yah commanded Moses. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yah commanded Moses. And so they pitched by their standards. And so they set forth one of their families according to the number to the house of their fathers. So that's good, y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. So now Moses and Aaron them, what side did Moses and Aaron them dwell on? Who did Moses
They were
and
the
Aaron
men
them
in Judah.
The East?
They on east side, and they dwelt with Judah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, let me show y'all something who was reading the other day. It kind of blew my mind when who was reading this. I don't know if it was me and Lady Battle who was talking. And look at this. It might have been Bible study when I was reading. Anyway, so look at this, y'all. So the birth of Yehukanan, the birth of John the Baptist, right? The Levites, some of the Levites dwelt among Judah. This has been a lasting relationship for a long time, even in the Promised Land. Guess who was a descendant of Moses, them y'all, and the sons of Aaron, or the Levites. He may have been a Kohathite from that tribe. He may have been. I'm not saying I'm not giving a guarantee, but I'm pretty sure. Yehukanan, his daddy, Zechariah, and he was in the temple when the angel came and told him he was gonna have a baby. That was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea. What was Jerusalem at? What were they at? Where? Judea. A certain priest named Zechariah of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before Elohim, walking all the commandments and ordinances before Yah, blameless. And they had no child because Elizabeth was barren, and they were now well stricken in years. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office, he was a what? Somebody? He might not have been a Kohathite. He might have been a direct line from Aaron, huh? Because he was in there executing the priest's office before Elohim in the order of his course, according to the custom of the priest's office. His lot was to burn incense. And when he went to the temple of Yah, and the whole multitude of the people were praying. So the angel came in and told him while he was in the temple, that they were gonna have a son. I just thought that was interesting because Mashiach comes from the tribe of Judah. It's amazing that Zechariah was in that temple and John was born. Now John was a Levite. His daddy was a priest. That makes John a what?
Priest.
John was a priest, and it was a prophet. They knew John. That's what they had respect and reverence for John. And when John came, they asked him, but because they knew who John was, he worked in the temple. And he also was a prophet who was rebuking. His daddy was a priest. John understood the order. His mom was a daughter of Aharon. John don't just get to stop being there because he's by choice. That's something that never leaves. And he was also on the same side. He was in Judah, in the temple. But Moses and Aaron lived on the side of Judah. Remember that? Y'all remember our talk we was having this past week about Judah and Aaron and Miriam and all them coming, their family, and all that stuff coming to play, and that about them being cousins, and how we was talking about them being cousins. Y'all remember that on our lesson earlier this week? I think Thursday. Or was it this Thursday? I've been last Thursday. This kind of put some of the pieces to the puzzle, huh? You know what I'm saying? When you see where they were where they were at around that tabernacle. So anyway, let's go. It says I'm on the wrong book. So now we're in chapter number 4. The duties of the Kohathites. The Kohathites, Kohath. He's an ally. It means oneself. It's some very, but this man right here that y'all says, look here, they're gonna always be, you know what I'm saying, around. And y'all spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, y'all give me a little minute, y'all. I'm gonna make sure we got teach it right. So just give me a minute. And y'all spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families by the house of their fathers. So take the sons of Kohath from the sons of Levi, after their family by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Why do y'all think from 30 years old to 50 years old? This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. Why y'all think the age?
My guess was, I think, like, to be depending on
Depending on what sign?
I think depending on like whatever the duty is, you probably need a certain bit of wisdom or potentially a strength to do something like that. And it may be kind of it said burden, I believe it may be somewhat burdensome to where you would only do it for a shorter amount of time.
Right.
I just thought, not saying that that's why by any means.
Right. Well, that's good. That's very good. Now, for me looking at this and thinking of this, you know, just think about it, the strength. So the sons of Kohath, they're not in them, they are not ministering in the tabernacle. They are not ministering in the tabernacle. They're not going in there burning incense. They're actually doing physical labor. So from 30 years old and over, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work where in the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most set apart things. So this is what they do. And when the camp get ready to go, set up forward, right? Aaron shall come and his sons. Aaron and Eleazar and Itamar shall come and his sons. So Aaron and them are going to take it down. Aaron and them are the ones who are going to take things down. So Aaron and them shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering of the veil. So Aaron and them, they'll take down the covering of the veil, and they're going to cover the Ark of the Testimony with it. The Ark of the Covenant is to be covered with the veil, the parachute, the one that Aaron goes through. They'll take that down, and they're going to cover that. And they're going to cover the Ark of the Testimony with it, right? And shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staff thereof. So Aaron and his sons take it down. They're gonna put the veil on it, cover the veil. Then they're gonna cover that with the badger skin, and they're gonna spread over the whole thing a blue cloth. And they're gonna put the staffs in the little rings on the side, right? And up on the table of the showbread, they shall spread the cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes and the spoons and the bowls and the covers, the cover withal, and the continual bread shall be thereon. So this is Aaron and his sons doing this. Covered everything up. So the priest and the high priest are to prepare the things for the children of Kohath. And they'll do it carefully because what they're doing is important. And it's important for the next man to do too. What Aaron and them doing, if Aaron and them don't do their job important, it can cost somebody else's life. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, the continuous showbread, and they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet and cover, and they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet and cover the same with a covering of badger skin, and shall put in the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue and cover the candlestick of the light and his lamps with his tongues and his stuff and his snuff dishes, the thing that you put them out with, and all the oil vessels thereof wherewith they ministered unto. And they shall put it in all the vessels thereof within a covering of badger skin, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue and cover it with a covering. And cover with a covering, and cover it with a covering of badger skin, and shall put the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with the covering of badger skin, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers with the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the bases, and all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skin, and put the staves thereon. And Aaron and his sons have made an end of cover. And Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels in the sanctuary as the camp is set forward. And after that, the sons of Kohath shall come bury it, and they shall not touch any set apart thing, lest they die. Neither these things are the burden. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. So what they're doing, Kohath, is they're movers. They're moving the stuff in the tabernacle. They're moving all the precious items. Two things I want to break them down. One thing that I thought that was interesting, y'all, on here is it kept saying the cover of blue, right? Everything's covered in blue except for the last part, except for the except for the vessels and stuff from the altar. That was covered in purple. And it said they should take all the instruments of minister. Let me see, and cover. See. And covered with purple. The altar and covered with purple. But everything else I seen was covered in blue. The thing that got me is that I was thinking about is the same thing when it came down to the tzitzits. When you go to Numbers 15 and Yah's telling them about the tzitzits, then he tell Moses, let's see. Let's go here. Let's look at something right here, y'all. Verse 39. And not necessarily the tzitzit, but what Yah says. Let's look at verse 38. Let's look at something. Let's see something right quick. So speak unto the 15, 38, and 39 says, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. Now, the only thing I'm trying to focus on, you all, is this ribbon of blue. Because when you look at this ribbon of blue, this is what, and you see those two little dots, this is why the blue is on there. The blue is on there for this reason. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look up on it and remember all the commandments of Yah and do them. That's what the blue is for. The blue is for them to look up on the blue and to remember the commandments of Yah. On some of the fringes, you all. And do them, that you seek not after your own heart, after your own eyes, after which you used to go whoring. So when I'm looking at this, and y'all, and we go to Numbers 4, and I'm thinking, look, that's a ZZ right there. But Numbers 4, Aaron and them are the ones who are covering everything, and they're covering everything with blue. The Ark of the Covenant, they bringing the veil down, putting the veil on the ark, then they cover both of them with badger skin, they cover with blue. The table of the showbread, the continual bread, everything they got is covered with blue. And so I was just thinking, could that be that the Most High want us to do, when they look at that, to have regard for that, have a reverence for that, be obedient and respect that, have reverence? Because look at something about that. And my reason for asking that question is, and this is me speculating, asking the question, but my reason for asking the question is, it's right here. After they do this stuff and have all this stuff done, let's look at something. Verse 15 says this, and when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, after that, the sons of Kohath shall come to bury it, right? They're going to come and get it. But they shall not touch the set apart things, lest they die. These things are the burdens of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. Now listen, they're supposed to go there and just touch that blue, y'all, pick that up. They don't even, that blue is what's protecting them. If Aaron and them don't cover it up right, they die. And if Aaron and them covers it up right, they live, right? Look at something. What book is that, the one with the issue of blood? Anybody know?
Can you repeat, please?
What book? What chapter in Matthew? We're gonna go to Matthew. What chapter in Matthew does it speak about the one with the issue of blood?
Matthew 8 or 9.
Matthew 8 or 9. Let's go see Matthew. Matthew. Chapter number, McKay said 12 or 9. Isaiah said 8 or 9. Y'all found it yet? We're gonna do the one in Matthew today later about. But thank you. I'm just doing I'm doing Matthew for a reason. But thank you for Luke as well.
It's Matthew 9.
Matthew 9 or what?
'20 through 22.
Yeah.
20 through 22. Okay. Thank you. So here it is. Look at something. This woman right here has had an issue. Now I'm not trying to get them and be deep with y'all like that. I'm just trying to look at something, and so we have an old young mid rash. We're just looking at something, right? So now we got this woman, right? She had a sexual flux. She had a zoob. I know the word says disease, but when you look into it for real, she was a fornicator. All point to that. Now I ain't talking about none of y'all have none of y'all been on fornicator. I just did that with I think Numbers 15, the same exact word, issue of blood. When you look at Mark and all this, it says sexual flux, and when you look at the Torah, it says sexual flux. The Hebrew word is zoo. But we're not dealing with that. Anyway, let's look at something. And behold, a woman was with disease, with the issue of blood, 12 years, and came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. What did she touch?
The blue he had in his garment.
Right. So look here. What she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be made whole. Her looking at that blue brings her heart right. How mean what she should be. Now I know this is the Greek word, but it's more than just being healed. She's supposed to be made whole, and all she can be made whole is to touch that blue on Mashiach's fringes. Her heart had to line back up. She had to carefully get back to the commands of Yah in order to be made whole. And I'm thinking that these vessels that they had are set apart vessels. That if you touch those vessels, you die. But that blue that's covering that is what keeps you alive. It's what keeps you whole. And it also keeps your heart from going astray. It makes the sons of Korah have to be careful. Because they understood, you just a set apart thing upon that is a wrap for you. But me looking at that, I'm looking at this woman with the issue of blood, her eyes on that blue too. And she realized going to touch that fringe, touch that blue, look here, I'm going to be whole. Now Lady Ballard came with Luke, which is good as well, and it's talking about the issue of blood. But also when you look at Luke and you see after Mashiach fed the 5,000, asked them who they said they were, and he was doing what he was doing, and many came to him, and everybody that touched the hem of that garment, he made whole. Listen here, y'all. The hem of that garment, it wasn't Yahushua necessarily per se in and of himself that made them whole. It was the word of Yah that made them whole. It was their obedience to the word of Yah. He was just the conduit. He was just only the resource that Yah was using to heal through. He's the mighty one himself. He's the son of Yah. It was the tzitzis that was touching. It was the commands of Yah. The attention and the focus was not on Yahushua. It's always on that. Yeah, okay, look here. We're going to look at it. But right here on verse 20, and Matthew 9:20, she said nothing about going to touch him. She ain't said nothing about going to touch him. She ain't said nothing about going to him, lay his hands on her. None of that. It was just simply, in her mind, it says, and behold, a woman which was diseased with the issue of blood, 12 years came behind and touched what? The hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment. Y'all better pay attention to that now. So that blue significant, that blue that's covering that stuff, it was way before Numbers 15. Let's go look at Luke 8 as well. We're just doing a little Bible study, a little Bible study. That's all. Luke 18. Luke 8, I mean. Thank you, Lady Battle, for bringing that up. Sister Sweet Baby. I can call her that. She's my wife. So anyway, let's look. She had issue 12 long
What you
years.
say? You repeat that one more time?
So I can call her Sweet Baby because she's my wife. And a woman had, so let's look at something. Where in Luke will Mashiach fed the 5,000? He also says, who do men say I am? Who do men say I am? Huh?
Where is that at?
Yeah, it's in Luke.
I'm finna say we go to a different account because it's also a Matthew.
Yeah, I want to go to the one in Luke.
Okay.
So the queen.
Y'all, excuse me 1 second.
Luke 9. Hey, McKelly put it in the chat.
Sorry, what verse you say again, son?
I'm the queen.
Luke 9.
It's Luke 9. Luke chapter 9. Start at verse 18.
Like you're the queen.
Okay. Let's look at something.
I'm the queen.
It's a long chapter, ain't it? Let's look at something. Let me find the scripture real quick, you all. It's also one in Luke, ain't it? Let's go to Luke 8. No, that's the woman.
It's Luke 9, starting at verse 10.
Start at verse 10.
Yes, the account of feeding the 5,000.
He feeds the 5,000, right? And then
Right.
after he feeds 5,000, he goes on.
Who do men say?
Yeah, man, who do I say I am, right? Then as he's going, some time passed, you got a whole lot of folks coming to him, and everybody that came to touch him his garment was made whole.
That's the part you're looking for?
Yes, sir.
I thought you were looking for the account. Okay.
No, not the count. Just that part.
That part. Okay. Oh, I can tell you where it is in Matthew, but I had to look for it in Luke.
We'll go to Mark. I can find it. I'm trying to find it in Luke, but we'll go to Mark and find it. So let's go to Mark. Well, Mark 6. Let's begin at verse 56. Okay, look here. Now, we'll start at verse 53. And when he had come, and when they had passed over, they came into the land of Gennesaret and drove to the shore. And when they were come out of the ship, straightway he knew him, and ran through that whole region round about, and began carried about. And ran through that whole region round about, thank you, Ruth, and began to carry about in beds those that were sick where they heard he was. And whithersoever he entered into the villages or cities or country, they laid their sick in the streets and besought him that they might touch, if it were but the border of his garment. And as many touched him were made whole. Let me say something, y'all. That's Mashiach wore zizis now. Now I know they don't say that because this is the New Testament. It said the border of his garment, but he wore fringes. He had zizis on, and they had the ribbon of blue in him. And that blue, that's what lined their hearts back up. You got to understand something. These people were sick. It wasn't Mashiach just laying hands on them, healing them, that got them healed. What made folks sick in the first place, somebody? What causes death, somebody? Somebody, anybody.
You said what causes death?
What causes death? What made them sick?
Sin.
Sin. So when their hearts look at that blue on their garment, it's supposed to make their hearts line up. Make them be careful how they live, be careful how they carry themselves, right? Be careful. So now when you look over here in Numbers 4, and you got the Kohathites, Aaron, only the high priest and his sons are the ones who are able to take this stuff down and put it together and prepare it for the Kohathites. And if Aaron them and everything they cover, your eyes got to go on that blue. Everything they cover is everything that they take down and cover. They got to cover it in blue. And I'm trying to look here, and shall put their own the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue. Now, not wholly like HOLY, but the whole cloth blue, completely, and the whole cloth is completely covering it. of blue, and shall put the stairs therein. And when Aaron and them get done, then guess what? This is some serious. Let's look at something else right here. My thing is, I'm just dealing with that blue and with that and how significant and how meaningful it really is. It's not just because of blue in the fringes or in the ZZ. I think it's significant to keep us to be careful, keep our minds right, because y'all said put the fringe in the borders of their garment and put a thread of blue up on it. And whoever look at it, it'll keep their hearts from going astray. It'll keep your heart from going to whoring. It'll keep your mind focused on what you're doing. Now, going to whoring means to do outlandish things. A strange woman, they call them whores. They speak outlandishly. They act ways outlandishly. They do. A man can be strange too. They can take you to a point of no return. Kind of ruin your life. And when you focus on the fringes or they're river of blue, you won't go to that strange woman. You won't let your heart go astray. You won't let your heart go a whoring. Why? Because your focus is on what Yah said put it on. Now, and then guess what? If you have gone astray, if you have slid, you can turn your head back and you can get through. Now that woman herself, she had to press her way, and she was unclean, but her heart came back right. She said, "If I can touch the hem of his garment, touching the hem of Yahushua's garment, that blue on his garment and those fringes represented the commands of Yah." Now, right here, let's look at it. Verse 15, we're gonna go on because I'm spending too much time on. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the campus is set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any set apart thing lest they die. What does that mean? That makes no sense, do it. Don't touch set apart thing, but how they gonna move it? Because y'all don't want them touching the physical thing. They got to pick it up by that blue. That blue is what protects them. These things are the burden, that's their job, the burden of the sons of the Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. So Masah, their burden, their tribute, their porterage is their responsibility. You all, they're to give that. Go ahead, Malachi. Malachi, you hear me? Can y'all hear me on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, maybe his phone just went out then. Go ahead, Malachi.
So going back just a little bit back about what we were talking about as far as how Israel is set up, you can kind of see Yah was setting up, a full nation. Every nation requires certain aspects to be kept intact, whether it be food, whether it be protection, whether it be, for your edification as far as Yah learning the word. And you can clearly see how Yah had everything broken up. You got one part of the families taking the part of the curtains down. You got one part doing the pillars. You got one part actually doing the service. You got one part and different people in different parts of each tribe, each camp. And you got leaders, so it's just interesting to see how the more we stray from that, the worse things got. And that also points out that how when Israel asked for a king that was more offensive, right? Because the way that they set up right here is how it was supposed to be set up. So I just thought about that. Point that out.
That's a good insight. That's very good insight, Malachi. Very good looking at that. Because he do see a thing like that. He's specific in what he got going on. And I'm glad you're able to see that detail because he wants you to see that. These things gonna be done again in one day. And when you look at Ezekiel, you read Malachi. I know that you are an Ezekiel fan. When you read Ezekiel, they have another
Right.
Another temple being built, right? And we're gonna start back doing sacrifices, even with Yahushua being here. But it's not gonna be like it was in Aaron's day. It's gonna show us who he is. It's gonna open a lot of people up because it's gonna be done from a remembrance perspective or a moral perspective instead of his point of view. Ooh. Excuse me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Now we can't hear. You all bear with me 1 second. 1 second, please. I apologize, y'all. Ooh, we're out of town and distractions. So praise y'all. Hallelujah. So what was I saying? So it's careful. It says they're not to touch these holy things unless they die. Now another thing that's important as well, y'all, is that the priests, Aaron, they had to make sure that that things were actually covered and prepared for them so that they would not die and carried out their responsibilities. You see how important the office everybody is? Look at verse 16. And to the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, pertain to oil. Excuse me, you all. One more time, I apologize. Malachi, can you take over this for me, please? Okay, I'm sorry, family. The adversary tried to attack, but everything is good now. So says and the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, pertaining to oil for the light and the sweet incense and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil and the oversight of the tabernacle and all of that therein is in the sanctuary and in the vessels thereof. And Yah spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, cut you not, y'all listen to this now. Look at this. It says, cut you not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites. But thus do unto them that they may live and not die when they approach unto the most set apart things. Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. Y'all hear what he just told them? Don't cut them off. That means y'all said don't kill them. Don't kill them. Be careful. Don't let them die. Let's look at something. Karath, cut off. sunder, destroy. So y'all said don't destroy them, don't cut them off. Let me see what let me see. We got another word. All and 8. So hold on, y'all. Okay, so y'all told them they had a serious responsibility. They had a serious responsibility. Y'all said cut them not off. So y'all comes to them and says karaf. Karaf means to destroy. Means just to take down. And y'all said don't cut them off. And what y'all is telling them right here is to be careful with them. Cut you not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them that they may live and not die when they approach the most set apart things. Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. So the Most High is telling them that when Aaron and his sons do what they got to do, and they send the Kohathites in, make sure that they're taken care of, make sure they got what they need, make sure they don't go in there and die because Aaron and them did not take care of their responsibilities. You see how important it is? Even the Most High himself said that. But they shall not go in to see, and they can't see with their own eyes, but they shall not go in to see when the set apart things are covered, lest they die. So that means that you gotta be careful. That means that Aaron them gotta go in and Aaron them has to go in themselves and also make sure things are prepared, done what's right, and make sure that he's taking care of them. So when they go in there, they'll be able to do their job with ease. If they go in there and see the set apart things, they die. If they go in there and touch the set apart things, they die. So Aaron's job as a high priest was more than going behind that veil once a year, huh? They had a whole responsibility of the tabernacle of the congregation. Go ahead, Malachi. Okay, so no. Okay, so nobody has any questions or comments on that one. And I'm sorry, y'all, for the distractions earlier. So verse 22. Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout their houses of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old, thou shalt number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. So why do y'all think they started from 30 to 50? Now, somebody?
I want to say because of the responsibility that they had, they only could lift up the garment, pick up it if it was covered with the blue. And that's important to remember, because if you don't, you will die. And I guess all the importance that came with it, and people who are in their 20s, I guess, or younger than that, can be kind of careless sometimes when it comes to performing their duties and things. So that's why I would say.
Now repeat that last little part before the people in their 20s, what you just said. Somebody trying to understand what you said to me. Say it one more time.
How we could be kind of people in our 20s. I want to say, not saying everybody in their 20s is like this, but can be kind of careless or moving quickly when things need to be done, not actually taking their time to make sure things that are done properly so that we wouldn't die. So the people who are between 30 up 50 years and up, I guess, would take it into consideration not being careless with the
That's good, Ruth. No, Ruth, I want to now that right there, that's some good insight, especially when it comes to the Kohathites, because you're right. Sometimes like young people, 20 years old, you get to move them real fast. So it is good for them to have things covered up right, so they can won't move. That's real good. I think that's good. Also, the older man may not be as strong as the younger man. And then when you get to a certain age, it's time to chill. 50 years old, I'm thinking, you 50 years old, you want the young boys to do it. The 50, you wanted to relax a little bit, pick up them heavy things all your life, carrying around for the past 20 years. You've been carrying this thing, picking this stuff up, y'all been traveling. It's time for somebody else, to do it as well. But that's very good insight, Ruth. That's very good insight. That's called thinking. What is it? Critical thinking. You looking at it now. You get you a bite off the chicken. So let's say it says verse 22 says, take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout their houses of their fathers by their families. This is the son of Gershon. From 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shalt thou number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This is the service of the families of this is the service of the families of the Gershonites to serve and for burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle. So the Gershon, this is Gershon. They shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skin that is above on it, and the hanging of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hanging of the court, and the hanging of the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their services, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. And the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, and all their burdens, and all their service, and ye shall appoint to them in charge all their burdens. Now, so they got to take the whole tabernacle down, y'all. So the Gershon, these are strong men. These are a question. So are all Levites ministers, preachers, or prophets and teachers? They're all on service at the office of priest, the priesthood. Zoom, anybody on here? Anybody on here? No. Thank you, Sister June. Thank you, Brother Malachi. No, all of them are not. These men right here, they're not ministers, but their job is just as important as a Kohathites. These men got to set up the tabernacle. They got to take it down. All the curtains, can y'all imagine? Because that tabernacle, it moved. They might stay there for a week, for a month, for a year. And these people have responsibility. And these are all Levites. Now time when you have assemblies like that, everybody in there should be doing their part. Now I know we don't have a temple now, but we do have assemblies here. And everybody got a specific part to do. And everybody's part is important. Their part is just as important as the Kohathite, because again, without no tabernacle, the other stuff can't even go back in it. You gotta get that right first. They gotta bear the cover. They gotta hold the curtains. Y'all, my bad, I ain't got no picture. But when y'all look at the tabernacle, them curtains, they gotta tell them how big them things was. They had malachite woven in the side of the tabernacle. It was big. They had different kind of skins. Let's look at it. And so they take down the curtain of the tabernacle, and they took down the tabernacle itself, and the cover, and his covering, the badger skin that was on it, and the hanging of the door, and the hangings of the court, and the hangings of the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, around the whole altar, and their courts, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons, at the appointment of Aaron and his sons, shall be all the service of the sons of the Kohathites. So Aaron is going to put them in a position, and all their burdens and all their service, and you shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. And this is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Itamar, the son of Aaron the priest. So Gershon hit the tabernacle, and everything around about it, all the doors, everything around the gates and all that, right? The Kohathites had everything on the inside of the tabernacle. And then we got Merari, the sons of Merari. Thou shalt number them after their families from the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, thou shalt number them, everyone that entered into the service to do the work of the tabernacle congregation. So now we got to establish why there was the age thing. I like some of Ruth's insight, because it's true. Young folks get to moving real fast, can get to, so you got to watch them to make sure everything is covered so they won't die, because young folks do move too fast sometimes and can mess some stuff up. That's true. Also, being older, past 50, you get a little tired. So, probably 50 years maybe the cutoff age as far as those who are doing that type of work, and that was their part. And also, and the children of Israel was supposed to take care of them, not just the priest, huh? So it ain't just about the preacher, is it? It's everybody. Okay. So now then we had so we understand, about that. So let's look at Merari. From 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, shall thou number them, everyone that entered into the service to do the work of the congregation. And this is for the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation. The boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof. Everything, the frame, everything that's the framework to put it up, and the pillars of the court, all and some heavy stuff, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service, and by name you shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. And this is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Itamar, the son of Aharon the priest. So theirs was the foundation, theirs was the framework, the boards, all the cords and the sockets and their pins, everything they put together to set it up, to get the structure right, to put on the tabernacle. Now Paul said something about that too, y'all. Remember about us being the body of Mashiach? Y'all remember that?
You said that one more time. I didn't hear you.
Paul referenced this a little bit. If you can kind of put your mind on about the body of Mashiach, everybody's needed, huh?
Yes.
Right. Who was the one, Isaiah, that the Most High gave wisdom to build things?
Aholiab and Bezalel.
Aholiab and Bezalel, right? Okay, let's look at something. Exodus 36. We go to Exodus 36, then we're gonna go to Paul. So look here. Then wrought Bezalel and Aholiab and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahweh put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary according to all that Yahweh commanded. And Moses called a holy Bezalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whose heart Yah had put wisdom, even everyone whose heart stirred him up to come unto everyone whose heart steered him up to come unto work to do it. And they received of Moses, man, look here. And they received, Moses had to stop them. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Yasharal wrought. The children of Yasharal wrought. Thank you. I lost my spot. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary to make withal, and they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And all the wise men that wrought all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they had made. And they spake unto Moses, saying, the people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yah commanded to make. Now, I wish we could be done like that. If we just give whatever all that we need, people just give, we work together, man, we'll be a big body. I don't mean Ahav love. I mean Israel. I don't mean Ahav love, y'all. I mean all of us as Israel. Yes, sir.
So we were in the truck this past week, and I was reading Isaiah, and it was talking about how the priests and the people drink all day until their stomachs were inflamed. And then it says, and because of this,
They got sclerosis, Jim.
and it says because of this, we lost the land. And it says there are other parts, I forget where exactly in scripture it said that our people perish for a lack of knowledge. And when you really think about that, that's twofold. One, you didn't have the knowledge of Yah, but two, because you spend time doing things that are unfruitful, you lose the ability to maintain what you have. Right? Think about somebody that's rich. They have a mindset. They know how to go work and to get money and to keep it coming. Somebody is in a mindset of poverty. It's not that they don't know how to work, so they can't think past where they are because they have a lack of knowledge. And when you just thinking about this in the temple, look at us now. We don't have anything. We can't keep up with anything because we don't have knowledge, right? If we actually understood what it would take to work together and to build and to grow something, we could have a nation. We could have Israel. That's what the Most High is wanting us to do, to turn back, right? To turn back to him would mean that we start to emulate everything that he has in Torah here, to build, to restore the knowledge that he gave us initially. But we don't do that. And so because we continue to not do that, we can't unify and come together as a people. We can't be one. We can't be in unity. And a lot of us struggle. And a lot of us go to different things and various forms of idolatry. And you see that from here on out, all the way into Mashiach's time, even until today.
Right.
And so that's just profound, right? Because if we really could just learn how to
work together,
we could get everything that we need.
We'll be all right. And look here, y'all. The Most High set that up for them. He told them and take care of them too. And he told them, he's like, hey, okay, well, the Kohathites gonna be doing this, the Gershon are gonna be doing this, and then the Merari, right? So we want to call them, gonna be doing this. And them working together got things done smoothly with the tabernacle, y'all. Let's look at something. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 12, verses 12 through 14 says this. For as the body is one and have many members, and all the members of that one body being many are one body, so also is Mashiach. For by one Ruach are we all baptized into one body. Just like the Most High did to Oliab and Isaiah and all them, he gave the spirit of witness for them to do that. And everybody whose heart, you know what I'm saying, burn, they can't, and they all work together, you all, to put the tabernacle up, to build everything on the inside of it, to make stuff. Everybody was just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving until they said stop giving. Man, they brought so much stuff. They brought all kind of animals, all kind of the cloth, the jewelry, the dye, everything they had to make everything they had. They brought it. They came and they brought and they did it together, and they built the tabernacle, and they were pleased, y'all. And then the Most High, told, hey, these y'all break it down. This is your job. If Aaron then went and did their job, the Kohathites couldn't have did their job. You had to have the Kohathites do their job. And then Aaron had to have everything covered right so they wouldn't die. If the Kohathites didn't do their job, then the Gershon couldn't do their job. You got to get everything cleared out. Aaron got to go cover everything up, get it prepared. They got to go in there and break all this stuff out. Then the Gershon, they come take everything down so the Merari can come take everything apart. And everybody need everybody. And when they were together, it causes it causes chaos. Look at this: 4x1 Ruach. We are all baptized into one body, where we be Yahuda or the stranger, Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into the one spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I ain't gonna read to you, I just wanted to read a little bit get understanding. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? No. It's the part of the same body. And if the ear shall say, because I am not of the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, what would a hearing? If the whole were hearing, what would a smelling? But now have Elohim set the members, every one of them, in the body as they have pleased him. And if they were all one member, where were the body? You wouldn't have the body with one member. And y'all, it goes on down. Let me tell you something. So some of y'all who know about the medical stuff and understand, we gotta have these fingernails, don't you? You got the finger, you got to have the fingernail. And you got the hand, you got to have the whole finger. If half of that finger be gone, you're gonna still be kind of in trouble. If half your foot gone, you're gonna still walk with a limp. And you gotta have something in your shoe to make up for that piece of that foot so you won't trip. You need each other. We need each other. It's very important how we treat each other. It's very important. It's very important. Y'all was telling Moses, man, something heavy right there about the Kohathites. And make sure everything covered up. It's very important that we do everything right so we won't harm our brother, so we won't hurt our brother, so we won't cause no damage to our brother. We'll make sure things are right. Look out for each other. Not just, from a natural perspective, pray for your brother as well. Call and talk to them, see how they doing. Make sure things are good with them. Not just, something natural. I think I always on something that, hey, man, you can't come to my house, or you talking about money. And I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about everything that we need to survive here as a people of Yah. Everything that we need to be obedient to please Yah, we need to do. All of it. We need to pull back our personal opinions, get our personal opinions out of the way, get our feelings out of the way, and we need to be led by the Spirit of Yah. Be obedient to His word, so we can accomplish the will of Yah. These folks they need each other. They need each other to make it. They don't need just one person. Anyway, what verse was I on? Thank you. 32. I appreciate it because my mind in 12 places. I'm 4 or 5 chapters ahead. Okay, no. Okay, so the Merari. So okay, let's go. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohath. So who was the chief of the congregation? And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families and after their father. I want y'all to see something. I'm going to show y'all something too. From 30 years old or even until 50 years old, everyone that entered into the service for the work of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. Now, let me finish reading first. These were they that were numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did according to the commandment of Yah, right? By the hand of Moses. And so let me just go to the Kohathites. So with the Kohathites, y'all, it says that with them were numbered by the Kohathites, and the number of them by their families was 2,750, right? Now we read and we saw their responsibility, how they go in there, they got to carry the ark out, they got to carry everything on the inside out. Now he counted these men, and from the men of being 20 years old to 50 years old was 2,750. Can y'all see what y'all is doing in there? He making it easy. It don't take all of them to do that, but it take all of them to do that. They had enough to do the job. They had enough to where it wouldn't be strenuous and it wouldn't be burdensome, and it could have gotten done. They had 2,750 men from 30 years old, from 20 years old to 50. To make it easy, look here. These also look at Gershon, and those that were number of the sons of Gershon throughout their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even to 50 years old, everyone that entered into the services for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers, was 2,630. So you had 2,630 men to help pull that stuff down. It wasn't burdensome. It wasn't hard. You know, one thing, the more and more you read the scripture, the more I want to go back in them days. And the first man that complained about going across the promised land, that complained about not going, I want to slap him. And then the first one that come to us, hey y'all, I know God, or y'all said, you know, kill everybody off. But man, we could use 2 of them to build this over here. I said, I want to be there to hit him in the head with a brick. Go ahead and kill him off. Because right now, our life over here hard sometimes. Have y'all ever wondered why they on top we stay under? As a nation, maybe alone, you may be all right, having you a little money, able to go do something with yourself, able to go get you something to eat, able to go, you know what I'm trying to say, splurge a little bit. But that's just you. You got other families here that's in poverty. You got other families here that's not doing so well. So guess what, y'all? No one is free when others are oppressed. If we're all not free, then if one of us is oppressed, all of us are oppressed. It ain't just about you. It's about all of us. And so we had it made. When y'all read the Bible, don't y'all know that when Isaiah was saying no weapon is formed against you shall prosper, that all you have to do is be good? Man, when you read Joshua and Joshua prayed and asked for the Yah to make the sun be still, it said it's the last time y'all listen to the voice of a man about that. It's the last time it said it's the last time y'all listen to the voice of a man about that, by making the sun be still. Because he let Joshua defend themselves. But it said that Yah fights for Israel. That's real. You don't never see Israel fight for themselves until they disobedient. Then you start seeing them lose and start seeing them die, start seeing them getting killed. That's all the time in the Bible you see them die. Yeah, come on now. Uriah them died and David them. Yeah, they were dying. They was also disobedient. Uriah was a Hittite. Uriah was a Hittite in the army of Israel. He should have never been in the army in the first place. First of all, he should never have been in the land. They became thorns in their sides, snares in their side, thorns in their eyes because of their disobedience. So of course, a lot of them died. Abner, but not because it was Yah, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But anytime the Most High sent them out to do anything, show me when they failed. They ain't had to fight. Show me Gideon fight. He blew his trumpet, and they broke. So everybody started killing themselves. And even when that woman when Barak, you know, and y'all told him to go up to with Deborah and told what's going to happen. Guess what? The Most High allowed a woman to stab a man through his head while he was laying down asleep. He trusted her. She gave him some drink. He got rest. She put a nail through his head. Yah fights for Israel. You don't lose. Ain't no defeat. It ain't hard. The way of the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, the way of a transgressor is hard. If your life is hard right now, you're a transgressor. You need to repent of your sins. And I ain't trying to be funny. I know maybe you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know, I ain't got to know your story. Your life hard. I'm giving what the Bible say. You can get mad at me all you want to. Don't shoot the messenger. If your life is hard, the Bible says the way of a transgressor is hard. The scripture says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. But what? Yah delivered us from them all. I can honestly say, in my life, a lot of things I've come through. No, forgive me, Yah. I'm gonna say it wrong. Everything that I have come out of, Yah brought me out. That's the truth. As I look back over my life, I realize, man, I can't come out of nothing until I changed my attitude, had to have faith, and I saw Yah deliver me. It was through my obedience and my faith that Yah delivered me. It wasn't through my own strength whatsoever. And if you look at your life, y'all gonna realize the same thing. It's through our obedience, working together, being there for each other. We need to help each other as much as we can, y'all, to make our life not being hard. That means when your brother or sister call you, it's, hey man, I'm going through something. Can you talk to me? You should talk to them. Hey man, I'm having a difficult time in my life. Can you pray with me? You should pray with them. And any way that Yah leads you to do it, you help them in the capacity. However Yah says, that's being your brother's keeper. It don't take nothing for a listening ear. It don't take nothing for a shoulder to be leaned upon. It takes nothing. It don't take nothing if your brother and sister don't have nowhere to stay and they need you to help them. Let them stay there. It takes nothing to be a helping hand to somebody. You never know whose life you changing and who you affected by just simply obeying Yah. Anyway, let me go and get finished. Even though there were a number of them throughout their family by the house of their fathers were 2,630, and these are they that were numbered of the families of Gershon, of all that might do the service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of Yah. It went hard for them. Now, how many we have from Merari them? From 30 years old or even unto 50 years old, everyone that entered into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them after their families, were 3,200. It didn't take a whole bunch of them to go do their work. 2 or 3 men grab a pillar apiece. Y'all can help each other, make the work easy. Make it easy for one another by working together. Anyway, and those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron, the chief of Israel, and the chief of Israel, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel. Who is the chief of Israel, y'all? Woo! Could it be Yah? Could it be Mashiach? Could it be Michael? Or could it be the one in the tribe of Reuben? I'm answering the question. If anybody can answer that question, I tell you what I do. I give y'all to we can give it to our next lesson today, or we can wait till Thursday for Bible study to see who can figure that out. There's a good Bible study question. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cause I said it to y'all twice, and anybody caught hold of it yet. So anyway, and all those that were numbered, other Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered after their families, after the house of their fathers. And I know that many of y'all ain't never seen that, and a lot of folks ain't never taught that, for real. And a lot of y'all ain't never read that too. So let's be real about that as well. But let's look into that when we get opportunity. Thursday I'm gonna see what y'all know. Okay, so from 30 years old and over, even to 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burnt in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them were 8,504 score. Yeah, 8,000 people been did able to do the service of Yah. Man, we can't even find 2, 3 folks to help these days. You can't find nobody to help nobody, feed nobody. Come on, brother, we're gonna come together tomorrow. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna Sunday morning. We're gonna hand out soup. We're gonna hand out some bread and some soup and some cornbread, you know, and something to drink at 7 o'clock. Man, that's too early. We can also do, whoa, wait a minute though. If all of us come, we can get done fast, clean up fast and be done too, can't we? And we can serve and help other people together, feeding people. It's like pulling teeth, feeding folk. It's like pulling teeth to get folks to give to be able to pay the bills for the assembly. Everybody focus on themselves. We're not realizing that it's your faith and your obedience that gets the promise. It's your faith and your obedience that gets you to what Yah has for you. It's to your lack of obedience that gets you stuck in the game. So it's that lack of obedience. And look here. I want y'all to see something because it's something that I don't think that's being poured out. It wasn't a question. It wasn't a request. It wasn't a please with that. It was a commandment from Yah for them to work together, for them to do that. According to the commandment of Yah, they were numbered by the hand of Moses. Everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him as Yah commanded Moses. I'm gonna read one more scripture, y'all, then we're gonna take our break. I know y'all gotta get ready for we gotta get ready for our second half. So let me take a break. Well, let me do this right here, then we're gonna take a break. Show y'all something. Matthew 25. Let's go to verse 14. Show you something. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents. To another he gave, to another 2. And to everyone, and to another one 1. And every man according to his several ability. To his what? Several ability. The word several means what? His own abilities, his different abilities that he got, to his more than one ability, to the stuff that Yah put on the inside of him, of the things that he can do. Right? Right. This ain't gonna do with no church. You talking about you in the choir, or you on the praise team, or you the pastor. That ain't what he mean about your talents. Who I can sing, that's my talent. Well, okay, we'll see. So he gave them talents. So what is his talent that he gave them? His talent is what? Some money. So he gave them provision for the vision then, right? So before this man left the country, he gave them what they needed to be able to take care of themselves. He gave them what they needed according to their purpose. He gave them what they needed according to the things on the inside of them, according to their abilities, right? Let's look at it. To everyone according to his several abilities, and straightway took his journey. Then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same. He went and did what? Traded. He went and worked and borrowed then. He went and invested. He went and did something with that. He didn't go to Shabbat worship and put all of it in the bucket, did he? And give it to the assembly, did he? Because that wasn't what he got it for. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. He got 10 now. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2, so he got 4 now. But he that received 1, I guess he estimated himself. He that received 1 went and did in the earth and hid his master's money. So the talent he gave was money. He went and dug and hid the money and came back and said, well, I gave what you gave me. Well, it wasn't good enough. After a long time, the master of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that received the 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Master, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His master said to him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy master. Proud of you, boy. He also that received the 2 talents came and said, Master, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. I love you, boy. Good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy master, right? Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Master, now I knew that you were a hard man. I don't know you giving excuses. I knew that thou art a hard man, you reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where thou has not strawed. And I was afraid. Oh, that's the devil, ain't it? Because y'all didn't give you that spirit, you wicked servant. And I was afraid. That's the adversary deceiving your mind, making you not obey Yahweh with the stuff he gave you. Because y'all didn't give you spirit of fear. Come on, Adam. Come on, what Paul says, 2 Timothy 1:7. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth, and lo, there thou hast that is thine. And his master answered and said unto him, you wicked and slothful, you lazy, you wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I did that I sold not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchange. You could have invested that money in something, to the exchanges. And then at my coming, I shall have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which have 10 talents. For unto every one that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away even that which he had. And you know, that talent. So all the stuff y'all gave y'all, everybody on the Zoom line, everybody on YouTube in this room, you got things on the inside of you that y'all gave you. And as long as you stand on and use it, you consider to be wicked. That stuff on the inside of you is for somebody. It's to help, it's to produce, it's to grow you. It's to make your life be a blessing. Not only for your life to be a blessing, for you to have what you need, but to be a blessing for others as well. But when you sit there and you hide it, don't do nothing about it, and just want to continue to keep making excuses, you lazy. You can't get nowhere. You can't get ahead in life. This ain't got nothing to do with no church. Well, you know, I can sing. Go make money with it then, because that's what it's about. It ain't about you going to no doggone assembly, give that singing. Well, it's not just about that. Well, this paragraph ain't about that at all. This right here is about what the Most High gave them to invest, to build their life up. But our mind is so caught up on church that we so heavily minded, we know earthly good. I see. It ain't got nothing to do with you. With I can dance real good. Or I can go on the usher board, you know, or I can go over there, you know what I'm saying, and be a deacon, you know. Okay, and how about you going out here, cutting grass, starting your own business, being an entrepreneur, investing in building, becoming somebody, you know what I'm saying, to be a help, to be an aid, because your master gonna give it to you. And it's required at your hands when you come back. So you sitting there being lazy, not getting busy, and all these excuses we want, you know, I ain't ready yet, you know, well, I'm gonna do it now, you know, I'm gonna do it. No, see, that's your excuse to go to hell. Yeah, my brother, that's your excuse to go to hell, to keep on saying, well, you know, I ain't gonna do that yet. I ain't gonna go here yet. Y'all been dealing with some of y'all on here about starting your own business. Been dealing with some of y'all on here about helping other folks. Been dealing with some of y'all on here about doing all kinds of things. And y'all got excuses why you can't do it, why you ain't gonna do it. You slothful and lazy servant. Oh, you of little faith. You got to get up, you got to do something. And we got to do it together. Or guess what? You're gonna be in trouble. Go ahead, Malachi, then Lady Battle, and then whoever else has anything they want to come in on, and then we're gonna end this session and we're gonna take a break.
Me and I were talking about this today, and Yahusha gives some very, very powerful parables. It is true that what he talked about is the kingdom of Yah. So one, we already understand when the Most High comes back, he's going to sift the wheat from the tares, right? So he's gonna separate the good and the bad from everybody. And in essence, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, the Most High will kill you and give your talent to somebody else who's productive. So let's say I live my life fruitful. I keep the commandments, I build, I grow, and I establish myself. When we get to the kingdom of heaven, because that's what this life is about, making it through that selection process, God is going to give me more than I already have. And for everybody else who didn't use and had the same abilities or something similar to what or maybe not even similar, but just random stuff, that gifts and talents that they had, that they did not use and used it for pleasure, just wasting their life in that essence, they'll be killed. And those talents will be given to me. Those talents will be given to other people who are in the kingdom. And that's what Yahushua is really trying to convey here. It's not about literal money. It's deeper than that. And all his parables are connected to each other. I know I talk to a lot of people, and most of them, when it comes to more powerful things, are when it comes to progressing their life, I just get a lot of excuses, a whole lot of them, and it's always based off of a circumstance. And I know that a lot of stuff can be challenging, but when is it that excuse will fade away? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? You can make plans. You just got to change how you live. The world is actually really yours. You just have to think about how I can come up and get what I got to get done.
Yeah, what y'all's ability, with his help.
Right, but don't forget, if you don't use what you got, you will be killed, thrown into the fire for eternity, and everything that you had and you could have done will be given to somebody else.
Right. But look at this now. Verse 30. And cast you the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's why none of us got no business in here telling what you can't do. Get up and get out and get something. Quit being depressed, quit being lazy, quit saying I can't do it, and just start walking. You'll be surprised. And I can say that. I qualify to say that. You know why? Because I was lazy, didn't want to do nothing, complaining all the time. Don't nobody care about me. My daddy wasn't there. I wasn't raised right. I had to eliminate my excuses, get past what I was thinking, surrender myself to Yah, and begin to get up, get out, and get something, because I don't want to be considered by Yah a lazy servant, an unprofitable servant. We'll do it, Willie. Go ahead, Lady Beth.
Praise y'all. Speaking to just thought and adding more context to what's being said, because it's not taught, or in Christianity, definitely not taught necessarily this way. And then even being woke, and y'all enlightened us through the scriptures, just actually looking at what's being said. When we look at what was given, provision came forth for what was identified, the gifts, the skills within the people. And if we look at the spin that Christianity has on it, they'll add, I'm discerning, even being woke, because they're the kind of like birds of a feather flock together, except one claim they Hebrew.
Yeah,
because you got the same fads and facets, quirks and nuances you find in the woke community too. So I'm gonna add that. Discernment. Somebody say, hey, you got a prophetic word for me? I know that I have been praying. All of a sudden, yes, y'all said, I see, or y'all had said, start a business, start a business, start a business. And most people are going to immediately go to how. Would we say that person is lacking faith? Or would we say that this person they're being challenged to exercise that mustard seed or that measure of faith, let me say, that they've already been given. And a lot of times when you meet people in ignorance, and I was looking at, I was trying to make sure I had proper context of Luke 12, when we want to bring up verse 48. 47 and 48, 49. To whom much is given, much is required. But Yahusha clearly is speaking about ignorance of the unknown. And just because you didn't know don't mean you're not going to receive lashes. But to him that knows and him that do it not, to him is sin, and you're going to get beat. So to bring us full circle with the gifts and the calls we have, regardless if you've been prophesied to about, somebody has discerned A, B, C, D, you and you alone are the only one who can go and with the help of Yah's approval, and multiply what you have. We as people of Yah, we're there to assist. Just like the Ruach HaKodesh assists us and aids us into understanding the word of Yah. So the challenge would be today to bring us full circle. You know, how many of us truly do have that nest egg sitting aside? And Yah has spoken to you to sow A, B, C, D for whatever the reason may be. How many of us have stopped and started something and you on stopped and start? You had the starting faith, but not the finishing faith. And Yah has sent provision many of times, and we yet did not fulfill it. So I'm gonna challenge us today as we close out. It's nothing wrong with Yah at all. And it's definitely, I believe that he's created us to be more than capable and fruit bearers, more than just to be, addition, but he makes us to where we can multiply. So I challenge you today to stop making excuses. Luke chapter 12, read it in its entirety. And when you get to verses 40, starting at 45 through 49, consider what's truly being said when it's saying to whom much is given, much is required. Because from Christianity to being woke, we use those as visas to say it's only like spiritual gifts or spiritual mantles. And I'm going to submit, I think that that's a lie. I think to whom much is given, much is required, from spiritual to natural. Yah deals with the holistic man. So what lies within you, you are more than capable after Yah, and once Yah sent provision to produce fruit, people. And let's stop starting and not finishing. And I think the king on that long time that he was gone, y'all, how many times did the one with the one talent who buried it could have turned it over at least one or two times? Could have went and produced fruit one or two times. But look at the advantageous, tenacious attitude and the motivated attitude of the one he gave 5 and the one he gave 2. And the challenge is today, which one are you? Which one are we?
And this is just another thing that it's been on my mind a lot, because I guess after graduating, you kind of see things differently as far as people's different mindsets. And I'm not gonna lie, it 100% frustrates me. It's like as we get older, it's like we can't learn how to do stuff anymore on your own. It's like a lot of times we don't have that go-getter mindset. Like if you don't know how to do something, what do? Learn about it.
Right.
When did you stop being able to learn about something? When did it become so hard to go on Google and search for a question? Hey, how do I get this started? You know how many articles and YouTube videos you can watch and learn how to get something going? You know how many people you could go somewhere and literally start talking to people and get what you need. But it's like we just, I don't know, we don't know how to do it. And so you just don't try. So you're stuck in the same situation. I have never gotten anywhere doing anything like that.
Me neither.
You will never get anywhere doing anything like that.
Never.
And the work that you don't want to do because you are lazy is exactly what's keeping you from it. The people that are successful, they're willing to do everything that you're not willing to do.
Right.
Every single bit of it. They're willing to sit down and take the time putting the work, doing a job that they don't like. But a lot of us gotta have, I gotta do this. I don't want to do that. But you gotta understand everything. It's not a clear cut path to everything.
Right. And then you're gonna be in the same spot.
And you're gonna be in the same spot.
Right.
that just came back up.
Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Does anyone have any questions before we take our break? Because I know we went over a little bit. But praise the Most High, y'all. So right now, I think it's so it's 2:14 where we are. I think it's like 1:14 in Alabama. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back here, you all.